Welcome back, and it's so good to have you here at mid-morning on WKYT. Tax season is here. This year, you have the option of helping Kentucky children who are battling cancer when you fill out your tax forms. Here to tell us about that is Jaime Bloyd with the Pediatric Cancer Research Trust Fund Board. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not only can you do a lot of good with this, which is the most important thing, but this is one of the few opportunities people have to limit their tax liability from last year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. This is the first year for taxable year 2016 that Kentuckians can check the box. It's actually line H, and all or a part of your refund can go to treating Kentucky kids that are battling cancer.
Well, how did this come about?
This came about really the day my son Paxton was diagnosed, March 3rd, 2014. I knew I wanted to do something to change childhood cancer in Kentucky, and from Campbellsville, and Senator Max Wise was in his first legislative session, and his son is a neuroblastoma survivor. So I called him and we put our heads together and put forward this legislation that passed in the 2015 legislative session, and then the governor appointed all of the members to this board, and so now we finally have the checkoff box, and we are going to be soliciting grant applications to spend this money. One thing that we learned is that 20% of Kentucky kids that are diagnosed are not being treated at a children's oncology group hospital, which means that they have a statistically significant, more likely to pass away from their cancer or face significant side effects. And so we think all Kentucky kids should get the best treatment.
That specialized care, because
right.
the side effects are considerably different for adults and children, right?
Yes, they are. Most kids get adult chemotherapy that have very significant side effects. There have only been 5 new cancer drugs for kids since the 1970s. And I think a lot of people have the misconception that childhood cancer is rare, but it's actually the #1 cause of death by disease for children. And it's not rare enough, and we want to do something to change that for Kentucky kids.
And you want to make sure that, again, people understand that this will be spent within the Commonwealth.
Yes, this is only for Kentucky kids, and we have about 250 Kentucky kids diagnosed every year in Kentucky. You hear often the national statistic that 80% of children with cancer that are diagnosed will survive, but the scary thing is that 2/3 of those children will go on to get a secondary cancer or a life-threatening side effect, such as organ failure from the toxicity of treatment. So even though my son's a survivor, we face a 66% chance that he's going to get another type of cancer.
Well, here's to more and more good outcomes, and thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Very important information to have.